Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and today I'm going to be doing a performance review of the Puma Stewie 1. So this shoe is going for only 120 bucks. If you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But let's get started right off with the Tracciones, and the Tracciones is really not good, you know what I mean? So first of all, you need to break it in, right? When you get it right out the box, it sucks. There's zero squeak to it as well. Once you break it in, and you do need to break it in for a couple days, it does get really good on a clean court, right? If you're playing on a clean court, really good bite. Like not amazing though, as far as like, it's not top tier, but it's a pretty solid bite on a clean court once you break it in, right? So if you're playing on a clean court, just give it some time and you should be okay. But if you add any type of dust or debris or anything dirty or dirt, into the equation, then it starts to really suck, right? So it picks up dust really fast and it's affected by dust a good amount, right? So you have to wipe a lot, right? And you have to really wipe as well. It's not like a very easy and slight wipe. You have to really get in there, wipe all that gunk off, and then once you do, then you have like 2 good stops again, and then it picks up dust really quickly again, right? So I found myself wiping a lot for this shoe when I was playing on a dusty court. So if you're playing on a dusty court, yeah, probably stay away from these, you know what I mean? And if you're playing even on like a slightly dusty court, I feel like you're gonna like not have a good time, because I was also playing in other shoes, and those other shoes that I was playing, like even like the PG6, even other shoes that I'm testing right now, which isn't like amazing traction, I still didn't have a terrible time in those. So yeah, I mean, if you're playing on a dusty court, even slightly dusty, not the best option. Also for outdoor use, probably sucks. It says high abrasion or abrasion resistant rubber on their like kind of tech specs, right, on puma.com, but I don't know how it's abrasion resistant because it's so soft. Like the grooves are super duper thin and it's so damn easily moved, especially like here. You guys see how it's separated right here from the outsole? It's like, I don't think it'll be good for durability on outdoor court. So the traction sucked. You know, couple of times I played in it on like a really clean court, I actually had a good time, but you know what I mean? It's 24-hour fitness, you know, so usually super dirty. And when it was super dirty, I didn't really have a good time. So there's that. Also, another thing that I kind of like though, which Puma's doing in a lot of their designs, is they have a nice rounded shape here, and also the rubber outsole extends here into the medial side, which gives you better grip doing these types of movements. So that felt nice, but the overall performance of the traction wasn't great. All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition. Overall, it's smooth, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice rounded shape, fully exposed nitro foam, which feels smooth in the heel. And then in the forefoot, we have a nice curved shape. Look at that. So we have a nice rocking motion, and then a good amount of forefoot flex, but it seems to have a midfoot shank plate, like a plastic one probably. So there's no bend in the midfoot, which of course is good for torsional support. So overall, heel to toe transition is smooth, which I like. The forefoot flex is like not super springy though. You know what I mean? So comparing it to like, you know, the JB1 with the full length carbon fiber like plate, it doesn't have that like springiness, like springboard effect, you know, like propelling you forward. It's just more like a soft, flexible feeling, which of course it depends on what you want. I like it. You know, I like to have more of a flexible like midsole sometimes, and also I like to have a more springy midsole sometimes as well, like the Wild 10 or the JB1. Alright, moving on to the cushioning setup, it's actually pretty nice, you know, so we have full length nitro foam, and then here in the heel, it's actually kind of thick. Overall court feel is actually pretty nice here in the forefoot. The heel actually does get thick, so there definitely is a nice little offset. And then here in the heel, like for the compression, it's nice. You know, it's soft. There's a little bit of like bounce back. Impact protection on heel strikes is actually pretty nice. In the forefoot, not as much. It's a responsive cushioning setup as well. Step and comfort also is pretty nice. You know, the insole is on the thicker side of things, which Puma usually gives us, which I like. But the stroll board is on the thicker side of things, so like, you know, underfoot cushioning, not the best, but like the insole is like, it adds a little bit to the step and comfort, just a tiny bit, but you know, insoles bottom out over time. So overall cushioning setup, if you want something like pretty soft and comfortable in the heel with like pretty good court feel and responsiveness, then this is a great option. If you're looking for something super bouncy, super soft, super comfortable, like, you know, something crazy, this definitely is not the best option. But overall, I feel like it's a pretty good overall cushioning setup, right? Now moving on to the material, so we have EM. So they're calling this a disruptive upper, and this is a great upper. I really like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's an engineered mesh, and I feel like more shoes should have EM, right? So it's just super thin. Look at that, super duper thin, but also it feels pretty quality. It doesn't feel really cheap or glued down or flimsy like at all to me. It conforms to your foot extremely well. There's no pinching. It's comfortable. It's also supportive. There's not a there's pretty much zero stretch to it. So it's a great feeling upper, especially on foot. And also I like the overall quality. We do have a good amount of fuse on the medial side and also on the lateral side. I feel like it's a little much, but you know, for support, I guess, right? And then here in the midfoot, the material stays extremely thin. And then for the tongue, we actually have a good amount of padding, which feels very nice and cozy on top of your foot. It's also a half booty construction tongue, giving you an overall better one-to-one fit, and it keeps the tongue in place. And then here in the ankle area, we have pretty minimal padding actually, but there's a little bit more like where your Achilles is, like in the back of the heel, but still like not that much. So overall, it feels super duper minimal on foot. I do like the overall upper. The tongue does feel nice as far as like, you know, adding comfort and coziness. And also like in the back of the heel, like we have this like embossed kind of synthetic material like with this pattern, which is kind of weird. But overall materials, honestly, for 120 bucks, quality is great and feels nice on foot. Moving on to the fit, I went true to size and it fits me very well. So as far as sizing goes, I mean, obviously this is it goes by women's sizing, right? So you want to go down a size and a half, right? So if you're a size 8 in men's, you want to go size 9.5 in women's, right? Yeah, so if you go true to size, you should be good if you want a nice snug fit. My toes go pretty much right to the edge of the shoe. It's a nice snug fit here in the toe box. Nothing too crazy, nothing too tight. It's not squeezing the hell out of my foot, which feels great, but it's a nice like snug fit. And also width-wise, I would say it's slightly narrow. So overall, it's a great fit for me, and I really liked how it fit because it just kind of like kept my foot in place as well. And just like, you know, the overall material kind of like hugged my foot too, you know? So yeah, if you want a nice snug fit, go true to size. If you have a wide foot or you want like a roomier fit, then probably go up like half a size, right? Alright, moving on to the support and lockdown. Overall, is pretty damn good. You know, here in the forefoot on the lateral side, it does roll over on itself just a tiny bit, a little bit. But it was adequate enough for me. Yeah, like if you're a bigger dude, it's probably you're gonna feel it a little bit more. And if you want like a super supportive shoe, this probably isn't the best option. But for me, it was adequate. I didn't have any huge issues. I just felt my foot hitting the material and rolling this material over a little bit. And then here in the heel, we have the foam coming up, acting as a sidewall, and there's an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment was good for me, and also lateral stability was good. You know, look at this. We have a pretty nice outrigger, and also a low to the ground and very wide base here in the forefoot. So lateral stability was very good. And also, like I said, I do like the rounding here on the medial side. So it kind of like keeps you on the medial side doing like this type of movement a little bit more than like this type of movement, which is bad. You don't want to roll your ankle, right? So overall support and lockdown was very good. I didn't have any issues with heel slippage, and like I said, it fits me very well. So overall containment was really good for me personally. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. If I remember correctly, it's on the heavier side of things, right? Yeah, so 13.86 ounces. Let's check the other pair. 13.76 ounces. So that's like a good amount heavier than average. And that probably has to do with nitro foam, right? Nitro foam is a very high density foam, not light at all, you know. So I feel like Puma definitely, like, to improve their like overall shoes, because like a lot of their shoes are on the heavier side of things. Like if you look at the upper, this EM material, super duper nice, and I don't think it adds really that much weight to the upper, right? It's definitely all this nitro foam. So they need to lighten up the nitro foam, you know, like go do some R&D and, you know, put the chemicals together or whatever and make like a lower density foam, you know. But yeah, it doesn't feel super heavy though, and also it doesn't feel bulky at all, because, you know, the upper, like, nothing bulges out or anything, so I do like that. But I definitely felt like it was a little chunky and a little heavy here in like the back of the heel because of the nitro foam. But overall, like when I was playing on a clean court, I had a really good time, you know, good stops, you know, the cushion was overall good for impact protection, or adequate, and then like overall responsive. Lockdown was great, support was great, and it fit me very well, minimal uppers. So I had a great time playing it on a clean court. But when I was playing on a dusty court, I hated it because it was really bad on a dusty setting, right? Didn't feel really responsive at all because I was sliding all over the place. As far as the ventilation goes, very good. For the airflow, there's a little bit, just a tiny bit of airflow. I mean, there's another underlaying material here, but overall the material is thin. So the ventilation, I would say, is pretty good. And as far as the aesthetics go, I love it. You know, Puma's been killing it with their designs. It looks very simple, but also like this colorway with the gradient looks super clean, right? So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, the Stewie one, if it had great traction, this definitely would have been like a really good shoe in my personal opinion, right? And I had a really good time playing it. Like I said, on a clean court. Nothing about it like amazed me, you know what I mean? Like the material or the cushion, you know? But it did everything, like all those really well. But just because of the traction not being good on a dusty court, I just didn't like it, just because I play on like, it's not even super dirty there, it's just like kind of dirty like most of the time. Sometimes it's like super clean. Yeah, they just clean it like once every couple months, right? But yeah, because of that, yeah, it's just kind of hard for me to recommend to you guys. If you're playing on a really clean court though, great option. If you're playing on like a regular court that's like kind of not maintained, you know, then this probably isn't the best option for you guys, right? But anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the Stewie one. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.